stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise, I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? Welcome back into Pregaming. Sports Money. Monday to Friday. You know how we roll. 6 p.m. What am I missing a slide? What happened here? We start with 1, go down to 2. What's going on here? That's all right. Doesn't matter. It's Thursday, May 1st. You know what Thursday is connected to Friday. We are one hop, skip, and a jump away from the weekend. And it's going to be a big weekend. You might have heard the ponies are racing. Kentucky Derby, big weekend for a lot of horse fans out there. We get some questions. I'll share a card. I will share a card for the weekend. I've got to listen. I don't get into the weeds as much as some of the experts do, but I'll still fire off. Probably have a pick 5, and then I'll do a try and exacta for the main event. But the main event tonight is the PFL. We have a live stream. If you haven't heard, now you heard. We're going to pop off a couple of minutes after 7 p.m. Just long enough for me to go make a cocktail. And then press go live. And we'll be live with the fellas, MMA Jeff, Subhuman Gaucho. Ramon Scott's been running so hot. He'll be there. You know, we're going to see our guy Keith will pop in each and every stride. I think we might have some extra guests as well. I don't want to volunteer them to be here. But it's going to be on its way. So, can't wait. Going to be a lot of fun and a lot of action. Look, it's a 9-fight card. The main event pops off, I believe, at 10. And the first punch will be thrown around 7:30 p.m. So we will break those down. I found 3 or 4 dogs. I don't know. I got my list over here. I was looking at the PFL this afternoon. And we've got the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, a small evening Major League Baseball slate, and we're going to attack them all. The only one I haven't fully pulled the trigger on yet is involved in that Nuggets game. So we'll see if we can get there. We'll definitely be finding a way to get there depending on how this evening's slate goes. Lots and lots and lots of action. Look, opening up in the NHL. We've got Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto's putting them boys on closeout notice. Vegas and Minnesota. Vegas is putting them boys on closeout notice. Dallas and Colorado. Surprisingly, Dallas is putting them boys on closeout notice. And then we'll move into the NBA, the Knicks and the Pistons. Actually, I guess we're going to go baseball first, but the Knicks and the Pistons, well, I'm there. We might as well talk about it. The Knicks have the Pistons in closeout notice. We'll fire off 3 Major League Baseball games. Boston and Toronto taking place in 6. We've got Detroit, the Los Angeles Angels. I just realized I have to get something for that. Bear with me. And we'll fire off Colorado, San Francisco to close out the evening, to round up shop in Major League Baseball. We're going to touch them all tonight. It's a big night of action. I'm excited. I'm excited to spend the night with everybody that's going to come out here and rock with us. Again, 7 p.m. Be there. Or you just don't like winning money, I guess is what it comes down to. Who doesn't like winning money? I sure do. I certainly need to. We got the under earlier this afternoon in the Mets game. Think about it for something. Like, which game was that? We lost the Cardinals, the Tampa Bay game as well. So, look, we got a little bounce back opportunity here. The day is young. The sun's still up. Plenty of time for everybody to get in. It's a new month. As our guy Gerald Jones says, it's new month. It's new sports money. And we did close out a big April. Not the best finish. Could have had a stronger finish, but all in all, yesterday, not terrible. Look, things that, what went well, what didn't go so well. Adding the Texas Rangers leg to that Philly-Milwaukee parlay. Did not go so well. Nor did going wide on O'Neal Cruz. Well, the under 9 did cash, though. So it was all not a total loss. We roll on. The Montreal Canadiens are done. The Capitals put them to bed. Baby went night-night. Team total under 2.5 cash for us in that Montreal game. Very similar play for me in this Toronto game. KC, the double dip, the first 5 under 4.5 cash, the under 8 cashed. Golden State under 204.5 did not cash, but the first half minus 2.5 did cash for that Houston Rockets. I'll tell you already, sharp perspective betting coming in on the Rockets this next game. Jalen Green did not get over 15.5 points in Tampa Bay. Also went night-night. Florida Panthers were that team. Cam Fowler closed us off with a point at plus 114. And that's the way the cookie crumbled. So, hey, we're still in the game. We're firing off. We're trying to make this month the biggest one yet. We had a big one. Let's see if we can't make it an even bigger one. And I'm ready. Excited. I hope you guys are as well. Thank you guys for making the comments in the chat yesterday. Post-show comments. In show, it's thumbs up. That's the way to support us and keep this thing rolling. Post-show, we can have a loud voice. Our voice is kind of quiet right now. I think we had 4 or 5 comments. Tops. It's not enough. We need more. Look, we were busy recording content last night for you guys with the UFC, First Strike, Subhuman Gaucho, MMA Jeff, and I gave our 3 best bets for the early spots before the Saturday card gets popping. That's going to be a later start as well for the live stream. They're making way for the Kentucky Derby, and then they will punch each other in the face. We also got the golf action out there and some big spots. Listen, just because golf starts on Thursday doesn't mean there's not opportunity to go back and check it out. They're labeled top 20s, top 10s, top 5s, outright leaders. So take a look. You can line shop. You can hear what we got the lines at. You can see where they're at in tournament. That's what makes golf so much fun. Hey, you missed the top 20. Now, obviously, the first round leader, there's only one first round leader, and that is today. So can't go back and get that one. But plenty of other action. It looks like Scotty Scheffler is doing Scotty Scheffler things. -8 today. Tied with Rico Hoey. Seems like Hoey. Hoey. Never heard of the guy. Plays from Puerto Rico. And then a bunch of guys in play. I know Jeff has a very active, I think it's plus 800 or plus 900 spot that's out there. So go back and check those videos out if you missed them already. And leave comments in there for us there too. Hey, listen, check it out. Open up a second tab while you're listening and throw the comment in there. That way you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Maximize our time. It's a commodity that we don't have enough of. So that's the way we want to get after it. I hope you guys are ready for a big night. I sure am. And like I said, I opened up on this card. I'll tell you, part of the reason for the NHL and opening up the way I did tonight, these series will get incredibly tight. These lines will get tight. The totals will get tight. And it's just a function of the better teams prevailing. We'll probably start to see, I'd imagine we'll start to see some more unders as we get into these tighter rounds, second, third rounds of the playoffs before the Stanley Cup Finals. So get ready. Tail my action tonight. I feel pretty solid about not as many props tonight. In fact, I don't think I have any props tonight. We took a shot at last night. Smaller card, wider opportunity. Just kind of went blah. Just a little blah spot yesterday. But I think we fired tonight. I think we're ready to go. So let's do that. Why don't we get going? Let's go get this show on the road. We've got never enough time in the day. And it doesn't help when we're going back to back, firing off the live stream to get everyone else's action out there. Good news is a lot of 7:30 starts, 8 o'clock starts. So we'll have plenty of time to hear the action from the other fellas as well. But right now's the time. Before we even get going, I commented on the comments. Now let's comment on the thumbs up. That's the most important thing you guys can do in show. Smash that thumbs up button. You guys have done a great job with that. Lots of views, lots of content. We should be able to disrupt this YouTube algorithm. Everyone says it helps the algorithm. Fuck that. Let's be disruptors, professional disruptors. Let's make some noise. Let's get on the big boys' radar. Let them know that the best damn chat, the best damn community is at Sports Money. And you can do that by hitting the thumbs up right now. special shout out and thank you to our silver and gold members. We appreciate you guys that have dug in a little deeper to the coffers to help support us. And we do want to give you guys extra content, extra plays, just things that are not on the regular streams here, games that are not on when we're on. So in other words, the early action, Sunday's action, Sunday cards have been firing. The weekend cards in general have been firing. And because we're going to go later Saturday, it's going to be a whole bunch of action you don't want to miss out on. If you haven't taken the second to go out there, it's only $5. $5 to upgrade to the silver plan. Helps us a ton. It's a small request from the amount of cash action that we are sharing with you guys. It don't matter if you're $1 better, a $10 better, a $100 better, a $1,000 better, a $5,000 better. I wouldn't bet 5,000, but every so often, something will get close. I try not to. I try to be disciplined. But that being said, if you were, $5, everybody can get in. So those support the squad, help the team. That's my 2 cents on that. Of course, we got a lot of things happening around here. Don't forget to check out the rugby action. Dan and Smythe laying it down. 2 plays out there. I believe the first one starts tonight or tomorrow morning, I guess, technically, right? 2 a.m. or something like that. So you don't want to miss out on that action. Why not? Go to sleep, wake up with some cash in your bankroll that you weren't expecting. It's like the Tooth Fairy. You wake up, you put your hand under that pillow, and hey, there's $5. Why not put that $5 in the silver plan? In this case, you wake up, you refresh your bank account, and you see, holy shit, them rugby boys are firing. And that's exactly what they do. So let's go, guys. It's time to get engaged here. Let's get the butt rubbing underway here. Of course, the best chat in the business, sharing their best bets. So get your pen and paper ready. They'll share them here. I'll read them out loud. Put your comments in the chat so that I can read out your best bets. That's my favorite part of the show. And then I like to smack talk some of these players as well, but like Mike Trout, but we'll get there. We got plenty of time before we get to Mike Trout and his bucket antics. Let's go. Gerald Jones is going to pop us off. No over on the early shot here. But Gerald Jones will be commenter number 1 to open up the new month of pre-gaming. It's Gerald Jones, and he's coming in with the Knicks and the Pistons on an under. 108.5. Is that first half under? I think that's a first half under. I think that's what we're looking at there. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's got to be about a first half under. Unless it's a team total. Pistons team total under? Knicks Pistons under? Maybe he'll be able to clarify that for us. Stop Geo Engineering. 6 months at Sports Money. Glad to be along for the ride. Y'all are a hell of a group of cappers and chill ass dudes. Thanks, man. Thank you. Stop Geo Engineering. We love to hear that stuff. Makes us a little humble. Makes us want to come back here and give you guys more winners on a daily basis. Put money in your bankroll. Positive vibes, man. That's what we love about this community. Stop Geo, and you are one of them, man. Let's go. OG, 6 months deep with Sports Money. Redbeard likes number 17, Sandman, as his favorite. Shout out to Redbeard. Made me laugh earlier today. Let's just say Redbeard's hoping Sandman comes in like a wrecking ball. Stop Geo. Looking at the Oilers team total over 3.5 on FanDuel. And Redbeard's got an Ottawa-Edmonton parlay. This is the goods right here. This is the good stuff. Justin McKelvey says, sports money is money. You're damn right, Justin. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Robert McCormick says, had a great afternoon with baseball. Ready to keep it going. Chris Comentini's here. Ricky Levine. Good to see Ricky back in the house. His Kings 41-1 and 3-1, scoring 3 goals or more. Do the Kings show up? I have 2 plays in that game. 2. I was only going to give you 1, but as of that, I'm playing it anyways. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado's in the house. Just in case you didn't know, it's all about the sports money for life. Let's go. Sports Money Nation, baby. Jay Main's in the house. Peter Gracia, he's rolling. This is good calling that Mets under. Appreciate that. I should have just left it there. That Cardinals game had the rain delay. I was just messaging Razor. I was like, dude, I got to stop playing rain delays and I got to stop playing double headers. Got twice in the afternoon on the rain delays. Damn. Jay Main likes Duran. Under 12.5 points. Rebounds, I'm sorry. Chris Dunn Over 9.5 points and rebounds. Damon Waring's here. Says, let's get this money. Ken Wood's rocking with us. What's up, Sports Money? What's up, Ken Wood? J-Dub, a little Senny Sen. AOD. What up, AOD? It's good to see you, my friend. Let's go. Joe Dubs here. Oldie says, what up, you dirty dogs? Smash the like button. Well, that's just good business, isn't it? AOD's ready for Pistons basketball. Cameron Sinnett, do you like the Oilers to take the West? I didn't at first. Jerry Davis says, did post golf. There was one play from each I couldn't hear. Really? Do we have some audio trouble? I'll have to go back and check it out. Thank you for letting me know. Anytime you guys find the audio trouble in there, just fire me off a message or a DM or a comment in the chat. We'll make sure that you guys hear it ready, clear, and transparent. So let's go. Damon Waring likes the Toronto-Ottawa first period tie. Is it 0-0 or 1-1? Is it both teams to score or neither team to score? Patrick the Groovy Alien says, nothing like some ice-cold beer and an evening with Pimp Slap. Let's go. Let's go. Nasty Nate thinks the Red Sox are going to smash. Tarek B, what's up, says Knicks to close out the show. Justin McKelvey, member for 7 months now. Let's go. Justin. Sports money is money, my friend. Let's go. Jay Mains. Damn, I took the Leafs. I see a lot of sends love. Let's go. Ignatius Pennyfeather the 7th here. That means we can get rolling. The Fixer. The Fixer's here. Nuggets Clippers under 212. It's a lot. Some guys don't like that word. I don't mind it. I'm not as often as some people. I remember I was on a show one time and I was like, that's a lot. Dude got off the show. He said, stop saying it. I said it again and he fucking got off the show. But first of all, don't tell me not to say something. You know what's going to happen. You guys have all been around long enough to know what's going to happen. Of course I'm going to say it. Stop it. You should know that better than now. People dynamics. Don't tell a grown-ass man not to do something. He's going to do it. Peter Gracia likes Toronto and the over parlay. You know, it's interesting because we were talking a little bit about that for yesterday's games, right? Looking at some of these spreads and the way they kind of broke down. What was the most likely outcome? Well, the goalie was going to get pulled in Montreal if they went down. And that might hurt the over, or the under, I should say. Now, because of the stupidity of Martin St. Louis, he did not pull the goalie until damn near the end of that game. But the under cashed, and the Canadians' team total under was just 1 goal in the third period. That thing was cruise controlling. We talked about it, though, that third period over in the Capitals games. It was like 12-1. It's now 13-1. And then the Panthers just put the boots to ass on that Tampa Bay squad, man. Impressive. But the Jets, I talked about it on the show. I think we were just busy shooting videos. Anyways, a big Jets trend last night that did suggest Jets, and it did suggest Jets -1, is in play again tonight. So I will highlight it. I will bring that up for you. Okay. Fixer says, just means he's locking it in as a bet. All right. Hey, listen, it doesn't bother me, man. Some guys don't like that. I can give a shit. I want to hear what you guys are locking in for bets. I want to hear what you guys think are locks. I really don't care. I want to hear it. That's what I'm talking about. Peter Gracia says, Tanner Houck gets a hit tonight, I think. That was the worst part about that Pittsburgh game last night was the Kyle Tucker, O'Neal Cruz hits parlay. Fucking Kyle Tucker, man. It's another spot where I've given out a guy that doesn't get a hit. I got to get it together. I got to figure it out. That's not going to work. Oh, he says gets hit. I was going to say Tanner Houck's getting a hit. He gets it, says Peter Grassi. I got you. That makes sense. Well, let's go. Let's talk about this action. We are right on the mark. Ready, get set. Let's go talk about some of these battles that we're in store for this evening. And we'll pop it right off. We'll look at these goalies. We've got, again, action in every one of these NHL games. So I want to make sure I get this over here. Let me reset this over there. Let's put this right here. Let me move this over there. Okay. 2 plays. Toronto, Ottawa. Stolarz and Allmark. Stolar comes out firing. Only allowed 6 goals in the first 3 games. He's allowed 6 in the last 2. So he started out hot. And then maybe the jitters slid into play again, where we know what Toronto does. And Jesus, if you listen to anybody talking about the NHL games today, what are they talking about? Toronto's going to do it again. They're not going to advance. Toronto's in trouble. Now, the brass balls on Brady Tkachuk to guarantee that they'd be coming back to Ottawa came through 4-0, was on that team total under for Ottawa. 4-0. What are you going to do? You know what that means? We have a situation where a team's coming off of getting shut out. Oh, yeah. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's the way I'm going to start the card, in fact. Taking these Toronto Maple, like a dick, my notes are upside down. Meaning I started with the last and I ended up with the first. So just a bad spot. Listen, you're going to probably hear these guys. Somebody will be talking about it. They'll probably talk about it tomorrow after Toronto wins this game. And what are they going to say? Boy, in the NHL, when teams come off of getting shut out in the playoffs, they find a way to win that next game. In fact, in game 6, it's 38-17. So I've got some specific game 6 of series number 1 statistics for tonight. Love the data. You guys know I love the trends. They are our friends. And I feel this goes just like the Washington game went last night. So if you're anticipating what that second play is, it's going to be the Ottawa team total under. I think either way, Ottawa's team total under has to hit for Ottawa to even stay alive. You can't get in a shootout. You can't afford that. There's too much depth and experience on that Toronto Maple Leafs side of the house. And to me, we're seeing a lot of unders across the NHL in these playoffs. Now, we know the Vegas series started out with some overs. The other night, all the unders hit in the West Coast as well. But lowest scoring series in the playoffs are these Toronto and Ottawa spots. That's because Ottawa's not living up to their end of the bargain. Through 5 games, 31 goals a game. 31. Oh, geez. 3.1 goals a game. Excuse me. The first game had a ton of goal scoring. And then everything kind of started to table off. They settled in. These teams started playing competitive. You know, Ottawa was chasing in game 1. Ottawa's players were out of position. Their best guys on the ice are going out there headhunting, taking stupid penalties. And they settled in for game 2, and they've kind of continued that trend along the way here. I just don't see a situation where Ottawa, comes out and surprises Toronto again. Them boys are experienced. They've been in the playoffs before. They know damn well if they go back home, the nerves are going to be running high. And for the next 2 days, they're going to be getting shit talked about how they're doing it again. Toronto's doing it again. Keep in mind, teams off that shutout, 38-17. Now, they're tight games. The margin in those game 6 scenarios that I just talked about are 0.8 goals per game. Not a ton of wiggle. But that could be a 3-2. Could be another overtime situation. I probably see it being a physical game. And then in the third period, either the puck caroms off of a dasher board in front of the net for an ugly goal by Toronto to get the win from Jonathan Tavares. There's a prediction. Or they go to overtime and Toronto still finds a way to win the job. But either way, double dipper. Here's the best part about it. Toronto at even money. And then the team total under 2.5 for the Ottawa Senators at plus 115. Double dip spot. Game number 1. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Nathan Cerna just smashed a few royal flushes at the casino. Damn. This is back even after betting those bum Brewers. Now, listen. What those bum Brewers did is give us a gift. The White Sox, I got to double check. I'm pretty sure they haven't won a game after winning a game in like the last 20 wins or something stupid like that. So we'll be fading the White Sox their next game. They gave us a gift. Nathan Cerna's on them fighting Phils. All right. Damon Wearing's a 0-0 tie. Toronto, Ottawa first period. Plus 280. Damn. Regular tie first period. Plus 165. Taking them both. All right. Redbeard thinks that stinks. Right? Listen. It's my card. It's my card. That's how I want to get down. But I just think this is the case. I think it's night time for Ottawa. Good job. I thought the series would be 4-1. And yeah, here they are. They found themselves with 2 wins. Toronto just knows. I think Toronto's got to put it all. You know, you're going to get booed in Ottawa in the playoffs. That's a fact. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs here, but I think that just keeps the pressure down. These boys know they still can go back and fuck around if they have to find out, but I don't think they want to. I think they want to put the bus in gear, get the hell out of this series, get rested up for the next series, and get ready to roll. Game number 1, double tipper. Whoops, wrong spot. I bit my tongue. Got excited about that Toronto spot. Vegas Golden Knights, the Minnesota Wild. Game number 2. 3-2 Vegas in the series. Look, kind of middle of the series. Vegas looked like shit. Bottom line. They've since countered. They've since come back and figured out a way to start firing. Tight games. They won that first game 4-2. Back-to-back losses in 5-2 fashion. Now, that was when Minnesota got Kaprizov back. So their best guy across the stats came through. They figured it out. But then Vegas figured out how to counter. They started getting healthy. Shea Theodore back, of course, in the lineup, contributing in a significant way on that defensive front. They win 4-3. Then they win 3-2 in Vegas. And what do we know about? Isn't there something? Don't we know something? Wait. If a team just played in Vegas and they have their first home game after playing in Vegas, isn't there something? I think there's a trend. Isn't there something in that spot? You're damn right there is. There's overs in that spot. That's exactly the way I'm getting down in this Vegas-Minnesota game here. Scoring, scoring, and scoring. Not only that. Let's park that Vegas return back home over, which we've seen cash, by the way. That second game in Vegas was 5-2. They come back to Minnesota. That third game is 5-2. It goes over. Trend remains. Now, let's talk about a Game 6 trend, because we've got those. History in the NHL gives us some opportunities for Game 6s, and if you lost as a road dog, ergo the Minnesota Wild. You're now a home dog, ergo the Minnesota Wild. In Game 6, you're just 1-3. Not the healthiest of margins of victory, 0.8 as well. I'm sorry, you're losing by 0.8. So I guess the other team's winning by a goal. But here's why a 3-3 potential overtime situation makes sense. 4-0 to the over in those spots. Not only do we have that Vegas over that we've parked over there on the shelf, but we've got the losses of road dog, now a home dog, Game 6 of a playoff series. It's 4-0 to the over. It's gone over by one of the most crazy margins, with the exception of another game I'm going to talk about, 3.1 goals a game. So your back's against the wall. Goalie comes out. I'd imagine with the shit talking that Martin St. Louis took across the NHL pundits today for his poor decision to pull that goalie with like the last 2.5 minutes left in the game, you know Minnesota, should they fall down, not going to sit around and wait. That goalie comes out. Them boys put an extra skater on the ice. That's why Game 6s go over in this scenario. Think about it. You just lost as a road dog. Now you're a home dog. The opponent's expected to win. That means you're going to be down going into an elimination game in the third period. Your goalie comes out. They go over the total by 3.1 goals a game. We're going to lock in the over in this Minnesota spot. What do you guys think about that? Let's see what you guys think about that. Nathan Cerna took the Sens first period money line. Redbeard thinks it stinks. Nathan Cerna says the Knights first period money line. Playing it over at Pimp Slapper. Okay. I like that. I thought that would have made a lot of sense. Not just because we had the Vegas trend, but then you follow it up with that Game 6 trend. Let's go. Exactly. I didn't even talk about the goalies. I mean, look, in fairness, it's boring for me to talk about these same fucking goalies every single game. Just tell you what I think about this game insight and how this game's going to flow. That's what you really want to hear. But if you need me to tell you, Aiden Hill's starting again, and he's got a 2.47 goals against average with a 90.7% save percentage. There you go. Gustafsson likely on the other side of things here. The thing about that, though, is they gave the mercy hook to Gustafsson after that last game. So he was sick. So now on top of insult to injury, you have the sickness bug rolling around the locker room. Even more of a difficult spot for this Minnesota Wild team. He was playing well going into that. It was 2-1, but so that hook wasn't so much anything other than just probably recognizing that they were down. He wasn't feeling well. Why drain the batteries out of this guy when you know you're going to need him again when you come back home to try to put yourself against an elimination spot out there? And it's must win. So look, his goals against average. I said, look, I got to stop saying look. Start saying something. I start thinking about it. I'm like, stop saying that. Look, 2.59 goals against average on the season, 2.63 goals against average through the first 5 playoff games. He's playing consistent, but it's not consistent enough is what it comes down to. And Aiden Hill has been, pretty damn fantastic. Albeit, he's been a benefit. I think he'll be one of those guys that gets better as they go through the playoffs. Should they advance to the next round, I think Vegas has a good shot to go out there. And I haven't even looked to see what the playoff matchups will look like there, but I like Vegas to win tonight. I think it'll be a score fest. I'm on the over for all the aforementioned reasons. Phil's may double down, huh? What do they got? What's going on? I didn't really mess with that Phil's game. Shout out to Flea Mathis. What's up, Flea? J Man says, don't know shit about hockey. I took the Oilers and the Leafs money line. All right. Sounds like you're on the right sides, my friend. I think you are. We'll see what happens. Let's go to game number 3. Let's keep her moving. Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche. I told you about a margin. That last game was on a total. 3.1 to the over. Now, trends are just like anything else, right? They're only one component. They're not you can't just look at a trend and be like, all right, I'm taking it. Although there's some of them where you shouldn't, like the Florida Panthers on a Thursday. Florida Panthers are playing tonight. I'd be on the under. I'm not going to get away with that thing. It just cashes too much. That being said, though, if O'Neal Cruz is on a Wednesday and he's facing a pitcher that shuts down lefties, just because he's 3 for 3 in the home run category doesn't mean we go that step. We have to look through some of the other supporting details. But as we look at this Colorado-Dallas series, surprised to see the Dallas Stars lead this series 3-2. Surprised. Especially with the firepower that Colorado has. It just seems like they're kind of lying in the weeds. And they got smoked that last game. It was 6-2. What's ironic about that? What they do the game before that? They shut down Dallas 4-0. So what happens after a shutout? The other team finds some goals. It's bottom line. And they found the win. Dallas Stars. Now they're going to roll back into Colorado. On the line, backs against the wall. Home ice advantage. Goaltending-wise, it's Ottinger and Blackwood. I wish I knew something. I guess I'm just not original enough. Ottinger, not having his best season. Blackwood, new lease on life from getting traded away from San Jose. All right. Look. Game 5 was not his finest hour. 13 of 18 saves. Fucking only 18 shots. Dallas is not shooting the puck enough. That's a problem, by the way. And overall, could I see it in another situation with an under? Look, Colorado, right? Look, stop it now. Stop it. It's enough. Okay, I got it. Colorado in the regular season at home was definitely an over team, especially in the second period. The postseason has been a different story. 2-1 and 4-0 games. Coming back home again. Should be a tightly contested affair. But I think it's one-sided here for me in this one. I think this is a Game 7 situation. Just like, I think this is the first one that I feel really confident goes to Game 7. Mackenzie Blackwood is playing better than Jake Ottinger by the numbers. And the biggest differential, so I talk about the expected goals from time to time, and I've used this during the regular season. We've had a couple of situations in the postseason. Like we took Edmonton a couple games ago with their expected goal scoring prowess. And Colorado, 5-on-5, not power plays or penalty kills, even strength where you spend the majority of the game. 4th in the playoffs across the 16 teams in the NHL playoffs. 4th. One of the best teams in the league in 5-on-5 regular season strength. Now you're going home. Maybe you get a couple of home calls from the refs, some home cooking, maybe. Stay out of the penalty box, stupid. And your back's against the wall, so be disciplined. On the other side of things, if you want to compare comparative purposes out there, Dallas ranks 13th out of 16 teams in expected goals in 5-on-5 scoring. So this one does come down to stay out of the penalty box, stupid. This one also, by the way, I teased it and I said to you, there's a profile for this game that fit just like the Jets game last night. The Jets covered by 2. Dallas finds themselves in a 17-52 spot now. It was 17-51. It's now 17-52. That says Colorado is the play. Now the question is, how do you get around this juice? You can lay the regulation line. Sure. It's going to put you down around minus 120. Or you can look at the Central Division with a home team in Game 6. Playoff trends, baby. Not a ton of sample, but they are 2-0. Keep in mind, it's the Central Division home Game 6. There's not a lot of scenarios where this exists, but the margin of victory in those home team spots is 4 goals a game. They melt the other team, whether it be the ref trickery, the home team cooking, the fans being loud and proud, the backs against the wall. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's showing us that there's a simple, wide margin of victory. If you're the road team, you want a bigger sample. You had 11 or more giveaways, and your opponent had no more than 2 goals. So your opponent had no more than 2 goals, and you turn the puck over a lot. That means there was a high luck factor. You turn the puck over a shitload, your opponent didn't capitalize on it. And now you go into Game 6. Those teams are 1-6. The margin of victory, 2 goals a game. I thought we could maximize the juice in this one. Absolutely take a big squeeze. Lay the puck line. Colorado Avalanche puck line in this game. For me, Colorado backs against the wall, plus 135 opportunity. Max value out there. So we've got 4 NHL plays already. Plus 115, plus 100. That over 5.5 was minus 105 in Vegas. The Colorado minus 1.5 is plus 135. There's only one game left to talk about. I got 2 plays on. The Edmonton Oilers, the LA Kings. I told you the Sharps were on Edmonton the other day. Made sense. They kicked the shit out of them. And they finally got rid of that home LA Kings cooking. Darcy Kemper, Calvin Pickard, whatever. Stuart Skinner lost those first 2 games. They've gone to Pickard and now have found that magic pony. They are 3-0, 3-2 series lead. LA Kings allowed the sleeping Giants to wake up. The question at the start of the show was, do I think that Edmonton can win the West? I'm going to certainly have to look at the matchups. They get through this series, they're going to be fired up and confident. And it's going to make me look like an asshole because I shit-talked everybody for an entire season that kept saying the Edmonton Oilers would win the Stanley Cup this year because they lost it last year. So, put my pride aside. I do think this is an Edmonton Oilers spot. I do think the sleeping giant has awoke. The question does become, how do you get involved in this game without the juice? Is there something clear-cut that shows us what this opportunity can look like and how to get there? And you know there is. Home favorites off a win in the Western Conference continue to roll on. They are 3-0. Their margin of victory is 2 goals a game. Drill down the microscope from the West to the specifically Pacific Division head-to-heads. If they have 1 day's rest, the home favorite is 8-5 in that spot as well. I like this over. First and foremost, the sharp respected betting came in. They're talking about the overs. They're buying the overs. We saw the under this previous game, and I think this is an opportunity for the little zigzag in the playoffs that some people do like to put their mortgages on. I'm not going to go more than a single unit, but every other game this series, 6-5, 6-2, 7-4, 4-3, and then that 3-1 little oddball at LA. Now, partly I can dismiss that under because you were in LA, you were happy to get the win, and what you did is you clamped down on that team that had an unbelievable home cooking record. Now you're coming back. You're in Edmonton. Place is going to be packed. Place is going to be rowdy. And the Sharps like the goals. I like the goals. I got a 6 for the goals. They were buying that 6 from yesterday, by the way, for what it's worth. As my report showed. The 6 is minus 108. The second play I took in this game is Edmonton to win in regulation. We already saw, some overtime fuckery. Your back's against the wall on a score fest here. Edmonton's leading this game going into the third period. Your goalie comes out. Pucks go in. Not going to overtime. I think LA is just done. I think they're probably a little shook, to be honest with you. Like, they started off so damn great, 6-5 and 6-2 scoring. And then they made that goaltending change, and they just can't find their way behind Pickard, whatever. They did score 4 goals, but they've been continuing to clamp down as Edmonton's waking up and making their adjustments. That 4-3 and that 3-1, they've been increasingly reduced in the number of goals that they've been scoring in this postseason out there. I like Edmonton here. I like Edmonton in the regulation. The regulation play for me. Not scared. Not going to lay the juice, but not scared. Minus 103. Another low vig spot for us when it comes to these postseason opportunities. Is there a chance this Guardians Twins game could get over the number for us? Is there a chance? Oh, that's why I like the NHL card. How about that? Chase J's in the house. What's up, Chase J? Is there anyone on the Senators, Avs, or Kings? LOL. Well, I'm on the Avs, but not on the Senators. Lots of people are on the Senators. Nathan Serta says, finish him off. Case, what up? Says Jay Maney. Finally made it to pre-gaming. Let's go. Just got in here. Let's go. How do we know? Because this is where the sharpest cappers assemble, my friend, and we think you're a sharp capper. So it only makes sense that you get your ass in here and start making some money with us. Stop Geo says, anyone have some reliable numbers on the splits for this Denver Nuggets? More public on Nuggets. I don't know. 75% of the bets and 77% of the cash. Let's go to the MLB. Let's talk about these 3 games. Let's get this thing moving here. We got about 15, 20 minutes till we get going live. I always say I could hang out here all night. Turns out I'm going to hang here all night with you guys. So we're going to go Red Sox. And I uploaded a new clip too. I'm excited about the new clip. Put one together. Found the time today to put one of those together for us. We'll try to pop it out at the right time. 7:07 p.m. AL East battle. Right now, we've got this line opened up at minus 104. It has moved to minus 110 in favor of the road team and the Boston Red Sox. You'll see their record sitting at 17-15. 76% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the on the Red Sox. And it has moved. So there is correlated movement. The spot you want to take a look at here is this total. Look at this over. Started at 8.5. 96% of the bets and 96% of the cash have pounded on the over. Has not moved. Houck Berrios. Probably. I'm not one of those big put yourself in the psychology of the other team situation, but you can't be happy. You smoked the Blue Jays 10-2 game 1. You roll into game 2. You're leading. 6-0, in fact. You lose 7-6, you're pissed off. Are you just pissed off and checked out? Or you're pissed off and you want to come back here and win? I don't know. I'm going to lean to the Blue Jays, despite the cash coming in on the other side of things here. I mean, look, the 76% of the bets, that's kind of the public. The 66% of the cash is kind of the showing that, yeah, a lot of money's coming in. But there is that differential that we look for. Some of the sharper bettors are betting on the Blue Jays. I don't know. Like I said, we got Berrios, we got Houck. The spot for me in this one has to be with a total. I actually thought I text MMA Jeff. I said, what do you think about a Toronto Blue Jays, Toronto Maple Leafs parlay? A little Toronto action. Because I'm stupid like that. I like those spots. But look. Oh, there you go. Did it again. I got to get myself a swear jar. Major League Baseball's in Game 3 after big scores. Find their way to the under 220 times to 156 times. 376 game sample, 220 times. It's gone to the under. We got reverse line movement or no line movement. With all that money coming in, it's probably where you should be concerned. I took the under. If you can get 9s, great. If you can only get 8.5s, I'm fine with it. I jumped in 8.5, even money play. We got a low vig card going today, by the way. The vigorish ain't getting us. Under 8.5 plus 100, even money spot. Game number 1 in Major League Baseball. Sorry, Nancy Dan. I know you think they're going to smash. Bomb.com. We're going live for the PFL, my friend. Fade Nascimento. There's a PFL look for you. Guys coming out of the UFC into the PFL don't seem to find a way. And you can get a nice price tag on that boy as well, should you not be able to join us. In fact, well, I guess it's moved a little bit now. Abraham Babley at minus 120 is the guy that I would look to. Would they lose a fight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting. There was supposed to be a fight at 7:30. It's been yanked off my book. Peter Krosky says, I thought it was Toronto parlay. Nasty Nate likes the Red Sox first 5. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Bomb.com. Okay. Tigers, LA Angels. I told you, I had a little Mike Trout business coming here, and not just because he's a bum and didn't want to play for Bryce Harper. Guy loves the Philadelphia Eagles. He shows up in the Eagles games. Love to see him out there in the winter when baseball is not rolling. But you don't want to play with Bryce Harper and you go sign that mega bust contract with the Los Angeles Angels? Fine. Fuck off forever. Mike Trout. Oh, and by the way, you're always injured. Yeah, I had that Polizzi. The one that I'm missing is the Xavier one. Did the Xavier fight? Did something happen in that Xavier fight? Ramon? I was talking to Ramon like he's right there next to me. Waiting to hear him on screen tonight. Yeah, Redbeard. Mike Trout needs to fuck off forever. And he's hurt again. He's got the hamstring, right? So here's a situation. The Guardians do win against Minnesota. Keep this in mind. AL Central unders. Sub says the Xavier fight is off. Oh, that's a fucking 30-minute breakdown I can't get back. Thanks, Sub. I thought it was there. I was going to take Xavier by KO. Anyways. No, I thought there was... All right, whatever. Detroit Tigers open up at minus 144. They've gone to minus 130. I get me talking about Mike Trout. I got nothing but disdain. I don't even like when they show him on the sideline for those Eagles games. Fucking guy. He had a chance to come to Philly. We don't need him. But we could have used him. Although he's hurt. So who wants to spend that contract? Then you're spending more money for beers and popcorn and cheesesteaks and everything else because somebody's got to pay for that guy's fucking salary. So let the Angels do it. Although I do like some of these Angels bats. I talked about Kyron Paris the other day. I think that's a young guy that's rebuilt his swing, and he's trying to go out there and find a way to fuck around and find out. But he ain't finding out shit right now, and not in this Detroit game. Minus 144 has gone to minus 130. 85% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the Tigers. The line's at 8.5. It has not moved. 92% of the bets, 93% of the cash. It's Mize and Kikuchi. Kikuchi. Bum. 4.31 ERA, 0-4. I didn't like that scumbag when he was playing for Toronto. And I'm sure he's a nice person. You know the deal around here. There's varying levels of appreciation when the term scumbag is used. 4.31 ERA, 0-4 season. Casey Mize, 2.12 ERA, 4-1 on the season. 12-17 are those Los Angeles Angels. 19-12 are those Detroit Tigers. I don't care if Trout's in or not. This doesn't have anything to do with that. Look at how bad the Angels are. Lost. They got swept. There's a mini series against Seattle. They got busted up against Minnesota. And you don't win games when you can't score runs. They scored 4, then they had 1, then they got a 0. Unlike other teams that normally bounce back off a shutout, they rolled in and lost again 5-3 at Seattle, then 9-3. This will be their first game back in 2 series. The Tigers. The Houston Astros are going to wind up right underneath Mr. Poopy over there on the side of the screen. I can't figure that team out right now. And I don't think a lot of people can here. Maybe they're just done. Maybe they're just gassed after being so commanding across the AL for the last fucking 6 seasons or so. 7 seasons? Maybe they're just old and tired and washed. Pena. I like Pena, though. For a side note. Anyways, you got the Tigers. You got these boys rolling in here. And this is where I think the factor comes in. First and foremost, the Mike Trout situation. Casey Mize, 1.04 whip through 5 starts. In 4 of 5 of his starts, he's allowed a 0 or a 1 when it comes to runs. The dude's on fire. Elite baseball at its finest. But he's not striking out a lot of guys. That's kind of a little bit of a contention. His walk rate's pretty low, 5.9%. I mean, he's got the stuff, right? He's got the components that you're looking for. It's early in the season. We'll see if Detroit's him by the time they get midway through this thing or not. But you look at the Angels. They're bad against right. Here's where this correlates for me. I'm on the Tigers. Here's why. First of all, you got Mize. Mize is a righty. The Angels are the worst team in Major League Baseball against righties. Bad. Dead last. And then over the last 2 weeks, if you want to look at the smaller sample in this case, because you got to kind of dismiss March and April, over the last 2 weeks, they're still last. Kikuchi, he's your answer? Not with a 4.31 ERA to start the season. That's not going to do it for you. 1.6 whip. We talked about the importance of whip the last couple of games now. Huge measuring factor. A lot of people will fixate on their wins and loss record. The whip, to me, is, how often are you letting ducks on the pond? And he's letting them out a lot. He's got a shit walk rate, 12.9%. Think about that. This contributes to the whip. Casey Mize, 5.9% walk rate. Yusei Kikuchi, 12.9% walk rate. Well, no shit, you're losing. You got guys like this dude you're paying the money to, and he's just putting them on base for you. Not even making him strike out, just putting them on base. Bottom line with this Angels team, when they face a starter that's had back-to-back good starts, 5 innings plus, mowing everybody down. We just talked about Casey Mize, 1 or 0 runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. The Angels find themselves in a 2-13 position over that course. That's not bad enough. If your answer is Kikuchi, the Tigers are a pretty strong lefty hitting squad. They're 29-16 the last 2 years versus lefties. I almost double dipped this. I almost went first 5 in full game. I've seen the Tigers start off with some shit starts, though. So I want to get the maximum. I want to let the team that blows it get the most opportunity to blow it. I don't want to cut that down into the first. I don't want to short the full game, knowing how bad these guys can be when it comes to hitting righties. That's kind of the thought process and theory I had in that one. I took the Tigers. Took them on the money line. Tigers on the money line. I could see him. I could see him covering the run line probably too, but minus 130 for me with the Tigers. Most juice I've got on the card. Minus 130 today. And because we have so many plus money spots, I'm comfortable with it. All those aforementioned factors. Last game on the Major League Baseball slate. I'll move quickly here for you guys. We got 2 games left I'm going to talk about, and then I'll give you a thought process on this last one. San Francisco taking on the Colorado Rockies. Does it matter? 96% of the bets, 98% of the cash are on the Giants, and the line is moved. So there you go. 95% of the bets, 95% of the cash are on the over. This line has not moved. That's a concern. Verlander has started off like shit with a 4.7 ERA. But he's got a new sweater on, so you got to give him some time to adjust to the new digs. Then you got Freeland on the other side, 5.93 ERA with the Colorado Rockies. I just laid the run line. I laid the -1.5. You probably could walk this thing. Well, the problem I had with going like 2.5, and first of all, the -1.5 is -110. I'm good with that. We're not going to lay. I mean, that's traditional vig, right? We're not going to lay runs and odds. That's why we took the Brewers -2.5 the other day for a nice plus money score. That being said, what do we know about the Rockies? The Rockies just won. They got 5 wins on the season. They just won. What's most likely not going to happen with the shittiest team in Major League Baseball? They're probably not going to win back-to-back games. We'll get more detail than that in a second. Pump your brakes. Back-to-back divisional losses for the San Diego Padres, handing it to the San Francisco Giants. 7-4, 5-3. Couldn't figure it out. That in itself should be a good enough motivating factor. Now, that being said, put that motivation aside. When you have a home favorite against a bag of shit, you're 75-8. 2 teams met this criteria. So think about this. By the way, home bag of shit defined as team that's won less than 50.5% of their games. Colorado Rockies, bag of shit. Keep that in mind anytime I reference a team as a bag of shit. It has to do with winning less than 50% of your games. Home favorites against bags of shit, 75-8. 2 teams met this criteria today. 75-8. 2 teams. One was the Mets, the other San Francisco. What did the Mets do today? They lost. Why am I so jacked up about it? Because it's 75-8. So if you were thinking that thing's due to lose at some point, it just did. You got to roll back in there. You got to raise the run line with this team. The reason I didn't want to lay the 2.5, I brain fogged myself there for a second with the 2.5 is because the under 7.5 suggests it's going to be a lower scoring game. 3-1, 4-1, maybe. I don't know. Thing we do have going in the favor when it comes to the under for this game, because the Giants are home and they should be up, they're probably not going to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. So I get the under, but I don't want to lay more than 1.5. This is just -110. Fair enough number to play with. Give me this San Francisco Giants. Jay Main says about an hour ago. Reminds me of an OAR song. About an hour. You guys know that one? Maybe not. Ramon says Rangers closing in on Sullivan as next head coach. Will be one of the highest paid coaches. Did you see who the Flyers are closing in on for the next head coach? Western Michigan's college champion winning head coach. 2 years of the last 3, I think. The coach of college hockey and a former line mate of one general manager. Not general manager, but anyways, president of operations, right? Okay, NBA. Give you guys some splits. I'll talk to you about some thoughts. Put a bow on this show. It looks like if we're going to be pushed back a little bit, stay tuned because we might have a little bit more time than just firing right off here. The Knicks open up at +1.5, 70% of the bet, 65% of the cash on the Knicks. It has not moved. 213.5 is the back number. It's gone up to 214.5 with 88% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over. 3-2. All on the line right now for the Pistons. Surprisingly, strange line movement, strange number movement here. They just covered the 5.5 as a dog on the road at the Garden. They won outright 106-103. Bottom line, intersecting zeros, and they do not favor the Pistons for this one here. I'll take the 1.5. Last basket. Give me the bucket. Give me the 1.5 in my back pocket. The Pistons are 0-10 going back a full year. Well, they're not a 4-point or greater dog, coming off a win of at least 2 points as a dog. So when they're not back-to-back dogs, doesn't prevail well for them. 0-10. On the flip side, the Knicks are 14-0. When they're not more than a 6-point favorite, and they're coming off a loss as more than a 1-point favorite. So you're not only intersecting, but you're kind of intersecting with similar philosophies. Makes it a knockdown, drag-out spot for me. The New York Knicks get me in the game. I like some Karl Anthony Towns in this game. I'd look at his points. I think it's a cat type of game. The last game here, the Nuggets and Clippers, to put the bow on the show. I'll say this, the winner covers. And I didn't mess that up with the words. The winner covers. So you're either going to lay the 6 with the Clippers and hope for them to win because they'll cover, or you're going to take the money line with the Nuggets because they're going to cover, they're going to win. That's how that works out for me. I'm leaning towards the Nuggets just to shut these boys down. But the Clippers, man, in April, even at the end of March, tough place to play at home. The unders find their way to victory more often than not. This line went from 214.5 down to 212.5. 93% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the over. Marginal movement when it comes to the side itself. 75% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the Nuggets. Pretty public spot. But that's my thought process. I just have to see how the rest of these games do because I'm pretty stretched tonight. I'm going to get involved with the PFL. So full disclosure, if I'm playing the Nuggets, it's probably going to be on the money line. And I wouldn't be playing the Clippers. That's the way I want to shut her down with this thing. And it's that time. It's that time for us to get busy. Stay tuned. I'm going to update our Connect with the Fellas. We're going to update the Get launch time here. And probably look to start by, let's say by 7:30. We're going to probably pop this thing off here. Give me a time to freshen up a drink, finish this water, get my bets laid out, get excited about this PFL, formulate my final thoughts on the PFL card, and then come back. Get ready, get set. We're going to go live Thursday night. Nobody does it better than this crew right here. You'll find us right here on YouTube. Going to make that money. We got PFL. We got NBA. We got NHL. We got live betting going on. We got Major League Baseball. Gave you guys almost a play on every single game. And I'm excited to hear what our fellows have to say about that as well. So let's get that money and let's get back here shortly to get rolling. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure you